Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome for the first time if you're new to today's reading, which is on focusing on what are the big changes that are coming for you, right? This is a kind of a wild time to be alive. There's a lot of things happening on Earth, on the whole planet, energetically, cosmically, right? If you're watching this reading, it's likely that you're tapped into some of those energies. So it's truly a very interesting time to be alive here on the planet. And there are definitely some really big changes that are on the way for all of us in 2024. So, and beyond, this is a timeless reading. So whenever you're drawn to watch this reading is when it's right for you. So if you're watching it in 2024, that's when I'm recording it. But you know what? There are always changes in the horizon for all of us. And so this is an opportunity for you to take a look at what are some of those big changes that are coming your way. What do they look like? How can you deal with them? And yeah, let's get prepared, right? So here's the reading that I'm going to be doing today. So first, we're going to pull some cards to understand what major changes are currently around you and your energy. What opportunities and what challenges might arise from these changes? Because look, when things change, that it can be very scary, but it can also be a huge opportunity for benefit and for things that are very valuable to come into your life, right? If things stay the same, things stay the same. And when we start to change and when things change in our life, that's when we have the opportunity to grow, to do something new, to learn something new, to find ourselves in a completely new situation. So let's take a look at some of the opportunities there. The challenges might be obvious, but you got opportunities along with those challenges too, okay? So we're going to look at those. How might you navigate these changes successfully? What are internal resources that are available to you, and what are external resources that are available to you? Because look, the universe delivers us surprising and beautiful miracles all the time. So let's look at what those are going to be. How will these changes impact your relationships, potentially with a significant other, but also, with your kids, with your friends, with your coworkers, with everyone around you, different aspects of relationships? How are those going to be affected? What lessons can you learn from these changes? Because there's always lessons, right? There's always a lesson to learn, no matter what. Even if something is very positive and beneficial, there are things that we can learn from that. And if something's very challenging, there are things that we can learn from that as well. And what will you ultimately gain by embracing these challenges? All right. So when you are able to embrace the challenges, what are you going to get? What are you going to gain from that? I bet the answer is a lot. You're going to get a lot from it. All right. So we've got 3 piles here. You're going to go ahead and pick a pile. So our first pile is the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue, before she went wonky and Christian. Did whatever else she did. I don't know what happened with her, but she did some really cool decks before then. So anyways, this is the Angel Tarot deck, and I have some frankincense on top here today. I'll open it so you can pretend to smell it through the camera. Okay, frankincense on the Angel deck. I've also got some sweetgrass. I was feeling very burn it down. My Aries moon was kicking in. I was like, what can I light on fire? So I have some sweetgrass here on our traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck. And then I love this piece of tumbled pyrite that's super smooth, but it's got these deep chunks in it, like pyrite really has. So I love this piece on top of the Witch's Tarot. So whichever of these 3 decks really speaks to you, you can go ahead and move yourself to that point in the video. Find the start of the reading. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to pull some cards in the beginning to just note who this reading is for, to make sure that it feels aligned with you and who you are. And if you get to a reading and it really does not feel aligned, maybe there was a different pile that also, drew your eye. So go ahead and listen to that. You can listen to more than one. You can listen to as many as you want. Like I like to tell you, there's no rules. Do whatever you want to. Do whatever feels right for you. That's the right path for you, right? So that being said, let's go ahead and we're going to get into it. Okay, reading number 1. We are going to use the Angel Tarot deck, and I have some frankincense here. So if the frankincense spoke to you, then this is likely a reading for you. So I'm going to go ahead and set that right there. And now the first thing that we're going to look at is just who this reading is for. So let me just draw a few cards to get a sense of who this reading is going to be for. So the 5 of Fire, which is the 5 of Wands in this deck, and the Magician. Okay, so Five of Fire is often about people who are competing with each other, right? It's about sort of conflict and disagreement, but in a way that actually spurs things forward. So it's not necessarily a bad situation to be in. It can be conflict with others, but it's usually conflict that's a bit productive and constructive. So if you are having challenges with other people, potentially this is at work, and you pulled the Magician here as well. So I'm definitely feeling like this is some challenges that you're having in manifesting something that you want to do in your life. All right. So this is for people who are looking to ensure that they can get something done in their life. And perhaps they're having some challenges from people around them. They really, really want to take action. There are a lot of things that they want to do and to put into place. They're very innovative. They are masters. But there's some conflict around them that's preventing them from being able to do that. Okay. So this actually might be so I'm definitely feeling manifestors in human design. So if you know your human design type and you're a manifestor, this could definitely be for you. It could also be for my manifesting generators. That feels like it resonates as well. And I have a feeling that it's also for people who are business people or entrepreneurs or have been doing things. You've been making things in your life already. You're already on board with that. And it's not too far of a step for you to keep going and continue to manifest the things that you've been working on. Now, there's also King of Earth. So this is definitely, can definitely be a business owner or someone who is an entrepreneur or a creator, right? So somebody who actually creates things and is able to be very grounded and down to earth. They're a successful person. So both of these, the Magician and the King of Earth, are like you touch something and it turns to gold, right? Like the Midas touch is one way to think of it. So these are I'm very clearly hearing manifestors. So these are for, my manifestors who don't necessarily want to explain what they're doing. They just want to do it, but you're having some challenges around that because the people around you need to be informed about what you're doing, right? That strategy is to inform. So if you are not informing people, that is one of the sources of your conflict. So we haven't even gotten to the reading yet. This is just who it's for. And then also potentially this reading, Treasure Island. Yeah. So it's, people who are seeking their treasure in life, people who are looking for their fortune, people who are focused on getting to the place where they want to go. They're focused on their goals. They're making things happen. They're making it work. These are people who already have a very clear path in mind. Maybe they don't know exactly every single step, but they know what they're doing. They have a feeling that's guiding them right to their goal, to the right thing. Okay. So this is the energy of who this reading is for. Okay. Now, if that does not resonate with you, then, check out a different pile and see if who it's for resonates with you a little bit more closely and clearly. But what we want to know is what major changes are currently around these people? What things are changing? What's coming into play? What's being put into action? Okay. We have the Three of Cups and the Seven of Swords. Okay, so the Three of Cups is like, this is a celebration, right? It's three women who are dancing with cups upheld on in their little camp, but I don't always necessarily trust them. I think sometimes they're up to no good. So potentially you could be working on some kind of big party or celebration. Maybe it's a music festival. It could be like a wedding. It could be like a graduation party, some event that you're working on preparing that has to do with celebration. All right. That is a major change that is currently around you. It very well might be a wedding. Perhaps you are getting married or someone in your family or someone close to you is getting married. A celebration could also be around, having a baby. If you're having a baby or there's some new thing that's coming into your life, perhaps you've recently started a new relationship of some kind. So that's a major change that's currently around you. But this is a huge celebration. Okay. This is something that's very exciting. This is something that's changing your life, that makes you feel very, very happy. All right. But the Seven of Swords is actually one of my favorite cards because it's like somebody who's getting away with something. They're marching to the beat of their own drum and they're getting away with it. The other people around them aren't even noticing what they're doing. Okay. So there's a major change happening in your life, but you're going about it in such a way that the people around you maybe aren't as informed or aware of the way that you're going about it and the changes that you're going through. All right. So you're going through this major experience with people around you, but your reaction to it is very different from others. All right. There's a lot of emotion and feeling happening for you below the surface that you are not making other people aware of. And perhaps you are not even aware of it yourself. All right. There's a lot of feeling down here underneath it about these changes that are happening. Some of those feelings are good. Some of those feelings might be negative, or they might just be trepidatious, right? With any big change comes really significant internal shifts. When things change, when we have a celebratory experience, like, we get married, or we form a new relationship, or we have a baby, or we graduate from school, or we start a new job, or whatever it is, those require significant internal changes in order for you to shift and align with who you are and what this new thing that you're walking into is. So it can feel like you don't want the people around you to necessarily know what you're doing, but you are supported, right? So if you choose to share what you're feeling with those around you, you will find support. But keep in mind that you like doing things your own way. You like marching to the beat of your own drummer. You're not really interested in doing things the same way that everybody else has done them. That's not who you are. And so you're not required to do them the same way as everyone around you, okay? But keep in mind that the more you are able to communicate who you are, how you're dealing with things, how you're changing, communicate your intentions, what you plan to do, the easier the transition for this life change is going to be for you. Now, there will be some major opportunities and challenges that can come out from these changes. So let's see what those might be. Holy. Okay. So we've got the 5 of fire up here, and we have the 5 of cups here, and I have the 5 of swords here as well. Okay. So this is very interesting because the 5s are all about material challenges that happen on the earthly plane. Okay. So, and we've got a 3 and a 7 here. So we've got a lot of very odd numbers. I've got a 9, I've got a 1. It's interesting, right? Because the odd numbers, when it comes to numerology, you have odd numbers and even numbers, right? I think most people know that. So even numbers feel calm. They feel spiritual. They feel centered. They feel symmetrical, right? If I've got 2 of something, it's symmetrical. It's nice and balanced. If I've got 4 of something, it's still nice and balanced. I've got 2 on this side and 2 on this side. It makes me feel good. But as soon as you start having an odd number in there, now it's not as symmetrical anymore because there's something in the middle that's throwing everything else off. So the odd numbers are about movement. They're about change. They're about making big things start to take place. Okay, so we've got all odd numbers here. We've got a 3, a 7, and I've got 2 5s. So the opportunities and the challenges are really hand in hand. Okay, the 5 of cups is about, it's very easy to focus on what you've lost because when you lose something, it's obvious, it's evident. I just look at it and I say, I no longer have this thing that I had before, and it's making me feel some kind of way, right? So it's very easy to focus on what you've lost. And when you're going through some kind of big change, let's say you're getting married or you're going through some kind of relationship renewal, you could be focusing on the you that you've left behind, the singleness you've left behind, the life before your baby that you've left behind. You're never going to get to sleep again. The you that had fun before you were in this relationship, this important relationship with another person, right? The you who was just a student before graduation and didn't have to worry about going to find a job and figuring out how you're going to support yourself after school. All right. So it's very easy when you're going through a change to focus on what you've lost and what no longer feels good to you, but instead focus on what is left. You've got something amazing happening over here in this change. So choose to change your perspective, because when you focus on only focus on what you've lost, you feel like shit. You don't feel good because your brain and your body just think about all the things that you've lost. But guess what? You have so much left. You have at least as much left as you've lost. So focus on that instead, and then trust and have faith that that's going to come in for you. All right. Now, the Five of Swords is also about conflict and disagreement, just like the Five of Wands was. All right. So in this case, though, it's more of an intellectual disagreement, where the Five of Wands was more about or disagreement on like a spiritual level or an inspirational level. Like, we're inspired by different things. And so, you know, we talk about it and we figure out what we're inspired by so that we can make it into something bigger together. But the Five of Air is like, very often it can be an intellectual experience in which, like, once you say something to somebody, you don't ever get to take that back, right? If you say something that's so effed up to somebody that it hurts their feelings in such a way that it becomes impossible for them to ever forget what you said to them, then you have significantly damaged a relationship by doing that. This is all about really thinking before you speak. You don't want to win the battle and lose the war. This is about taking a longer-term perspective, understanding how your actions today are going to affect the outcomes tomorrow. They're going to affect your partnerships. They're going to affect your relationships. They're going to affect you, right? So this is, you have the opportunity now, first of all, to change your perspective and look at something in a different way and notice the blessings that you still have instead of what you're losing, and also to approach the situation in a different way. You need to talk nicer, right? Or like maybe think nicer or communicate more nicely, because the way that you've been doing it or the way that you feel like you want to approach it is not nice. It's kind of shitty, and it's going to hurt people's feelings, and it's going to leave you in a position that makes you just, people won't be able to trust you anymore. They're not going to know if they can trust you because of the way that you dealt with them. Okay? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. These cards are both opportunities and challenges at the same time. So it is really, there's an opportunity for growth in here for you. If you can change your perspective and learn to approach things in a different way that's a bit softer and is more about winning the conversation, then you're going to have a better time. Okay? You're going to have an easier time. So these changes, this change is going to bring these opportunities to you. All right? Now, how can you navigate these changes successfully? Because it feels like a lot, and that feels like, well, if that's all I have to look forward to, then what's even the point, right? But in fact, you do have resources to help you navigate these changes. So let's start by finding out what are the internal resources you have. And I just dropped, these must have been in order at some point. I literally just dropped 5, 6, 7, 8 of Pentacles. These in order? Crazy. Not really. Okay, so the 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Pentacles. This is, let's lay them out like this so we can see them. Now, we've got the 5 again. I have the 5 again. So now we have all 4 5s out here on the table. That is a wild situation. Okay, but this tells me that you are really, really building something. You are moving. This is action. All right. So the 5 and 6 of Pentacles are both about giving and receiving money. Okay. So it may be very helpful to you to think about where your money is going with regards to this change. If it's a celebration, you might be spending money on a big party. If it's a new baby, you're going to be spending money on a new baby. So it's really about thinking about where your money is going and planning, being smart and being resourceful with your money. And also there may be the opportunity for you to get gifts from other people or potentially a loan. So there may be money coming into you. Like, you are a powerful money magnet. All right. You vibrate at the same vibration of miracles. So allow that to come in, because there will be some money that is attached to this change that is coming in. Now, if this has to do with the business, the change is very likely that you're going to be making a lot of money. You are suddenly going to be making money, and you're heading off towards your treasure island. All right. So you're moving towards your goal. And if you're a business person, right, which we talked about before, King of Earth is definitely a business person, someone who is in charge of their business, whether they're an entrepreneur, a creator, a small business owner, whatever it is. You are going to be making money. You are being so encouraged to learn to deal with your money better than you do. Maybe you already have a really good handle on your money. You're very good at budgeting, you save, you invest, you do this and that. You can get better. We can all get better. Maybe you're someone who you are a nightmare when it comes to money. You don't know how to manage your money. It's always gone. You never have enough. Then, wow, you have a big opportunity to go into that and experience what that soul growth is like. Because when we have issues around money, it manifests very strongly on the earthly plane, right? When we have issues thinking that we're not worth the money, it won't come to us. If we have issues thinking that, spiritual people can't have money, then it won't come to us. If we have issues thinking, if I don't work really, really hard, then I'm never going to make money, then you're going to have trouble manifesting your money. So because the money is on the way, because you have worked so hard, and that is the change that is happening in your life, because that money's on the way, you better figure out what to do with it. All right. You need to get a plan into place. You need to have a budget. You need to know where your money's going to go, where you're investing it, what you're doing with it. You can't just willy-nilly all the time and think everything's going to work out fine. Yes, the universe will provide, but sometimes the universe provides in ways that are still challenging for those of us who exist here on the earthly plane. All right. Going to a food bank and getting your food is one way for the universe to provide. But it would be nicer if you had enough money to go to the grocery store and buy the things that you wanted instead. Right. So it's very much, you can absolutely just trust the universe and go, oh no, money's fine. The universe will provide. I attract money like water. I'm a powerful magnet, and you are. But if you want to maintain that power on this earthly plane, on this planet that we live in, you better learn how to deal with your money. All right. So that's number one. And that is how you can really successfully navigate this challenge, is get your money in order. You're going to be making a lot of money. There's a big change coming here for you. Okay. So make sure that you have your money in order. All right. Now I know that this was a celebration. Like, we definitely pulled the celebration card. So I didn't get the feeling that this was about a business manifesting. Like, I did not get the feeling that that was what this reading was about, but maybe it is, right? Or maybe, well, a celebration certainly could come about because, your company did something really successful. You got a huge deal, or you made a connection with somebody. So, that could be part of it as well. All right. And then the 7 of Earth and the 8 of Earth, these are really about focusing on your work and getting really good work done. Okay, so you've been planting seeds for a while, and now it's time for them to come to fruition. All right, you are a very skilled person. The seeds that you've been planting have been based on your skill. You've been doing things that are really focused and grounded, and you're really good at doing stuff. So it's about to come to fruition. Okay, so get your money in order. That's number one. Now, if I want to look at some external resources, that could be partly external resources too. Could also be getting your money in order. You could work with a money counselor or something like that. Okay, 10 of Swords. So 10 of Swords is you've been going through a difficult time, and now you're about to come out of it. Okay, so so that's nice. Great. What are the resources that are going to be available though as we come out of that time? What resources will be available to us? Emotions, and a sense of being able to take care of oneself. So both of those actually feel like internal resources to me. So maybe these are flip-flopped a little bit. Okay. So the external resources are going to find someone to help you deal with your money, an accountant, a money manager, something like that, because your money's going to be coming in and you want to be responsible with it. So go talk to someone at the bank. Now, I think these are the internal resources over here. So you have a remarkable ability to take care of yourself. You do not need to rely on anyone else. You are incredibly independent. Now, at the same time, that comes with a caveat, because if you are engaging in some celebration that involves another person over here, you need to make sure that you're involving them in whatever's going on here. You're not all alone. So don't allow the energy of being independent to take over when you're working in a partnership with somebody. If you're working in a partnership with somebody, you need to work with them, right? And can I also I got the 5 here and the 7 here. So can we draw your attention to that? That's all. And this is a 9. All right. So now to the C, for me, this is really about emotions. So this is about you using your emotions to help you go through this experience, because your emotions bring you messages. The emotions are the things that tell you what you're really feeling and what you need to do about it. When something is misaligned, your emotions tell you feel bad. When something is aligned, your emotions tell you feel good, right? So learning to listen to your emotions as a barometer for whatever's going on in your life can definitely help with this significantly. All right. So those are your internal resources. Now, how will these changes impact your relationships? Now, this is an interesting question, right? Because I do believe this has to do with some kind of relationship. It's a celebration, but it doesn't have to be with another person, I guess. It could also be, if you're selling your business, that's a celebration. So, but how will this affect your relationships with other people? Okay. And we got the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is really, she's all about nurturing and being really practical. Okay. When I think about her in sort of a business sense, she's financially wise. She has mastered her own money. Okay. She knows exactly what to do. She takes a sensible approach. She invests in the right places. She's measured. She considers what she's doing with her money. She is not frivolous. She's down to earth. She pays attention and she focuses. All right. Now, she also runs her home. She runs her own home very well. All right. And part of the way that she does that is that she manages the money and the budget in her home quite well. She's also likely to be an entrepreneur, especially someone who works in a very practical sort of area. So like someone who, I don't know, is a dog walker would be an example, right? Because they work in a very practical area. So the way that it would impact your relationships would that it would actually make you a better foundation for your relationships. This will help you actually be more stable and more focused and better able to take care of yourself, better able to take care of your home. And so that will create a better atmosphere, a better environment for those who either come into your home or those who engage with you, right? If someone's living in your home with you, let's get a card for the other person who might be living in your home with you. The World. Wow, interesting. So it will actually create a better environment for you, which I mean, it makes sense. If you get your money in order and then everybody in the house feels a lot better, right? So this will create such a beautiful environment that will support you, that will help to encourage everyone in the home to move towards enlightenment. And this makes a lot of sense, right? Because when on Maslow's hierarchy, when our basic needs are met, when we have safety and shelter, when our sexual needs are met, when our emotional needs are met, when our personal power needs are met, when all of our needs are met, we are able to go out into the world, create a better world around us through our own enlightenment. Right? So the blessings that are on your way really have to do with a very successful business and a significant amount of money. Maybe not all at once. Maybe it's going to be a new job. Maybe it's actually going to be, a business or an investment is finally going to be paying off. Maybe that's what it is, right? But when you have the money to create a safe and stable environment where you're able to focus on what you're doing, what you're building in a way that allows you to really focus on it, that you're not constantly worried about where am I going to get this from? Where am I going to get this? I need the resources for this. I don't have money for that. When you're able to focus on what you're building and what you're doing, then you get to grow and you get to put all of your positivity out there in the world and make the world a better place. The changes that are on the way for you revolve significant amounts of external resources that you can use to improve the quality of your life, to make your life better, and improve the quality of life for the people around you, for the people on this world. It will enable you to take your specific, unique gifts and talents, bring them to the world in a way that only you can, because you are the one who has made this life. You're the only one who's experienced all of these things. So you're in a very unique situation. You're going to be getting some money. Learn what to do with it so that you can make the world a much, much better place with it. It's so interesting that when we pulled the original cards too, we got the Magician, and now I'm pulling the World, right? So this is you. This is I asked the cards in the beginning, show me the person I'm reading this for. And then I just asked for a clarification card on the relationship this person is going to have with others around them. This takes you from the Magician who manifested this thing, this outcome, this windfall, this business, this profit, this investment. You manifested this thing coming to fruition, and now it will allow you to have a relationship with the world that is totally transformational. Look, I've got the lemniscate, the infinity sign here on top of the Magician and on top of Archangel Michael and the World. This is about deep internal changes on a spiritual level that you are going through right now, and you are just about to come out of them. You are just about to come out of them, and it is going to be amazing. Look, I'm crying. I'm getting so emotional just thinking about how beautiful this is going to be for you, because you have really gone through a lot of challenges. 5, 6, 7 of Earth, 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups. We have every single 5 of the deck out here, and the 5s are so challenging. But because of those challenges, you grow and you become a better person. Oh, I'm so excited for you. This is really great. Oh man, this is really, really cool. Okay. Now, what lessons can you learn from these changes? 6 of Wands. Okay, you're going to be getting a lot of public recognition actually because of this. Okay, so you're going to be known. People will know what you've done. People will know the success that you've had, and they'll want to know more about your success, and they'll want to know more about you. Okay, so the lessons that you can learn from that, 9 of Pentacles. So one of the most important things for you, because you're going to start getting some public recognition, you're going to be known for this thing that's happening for you. One of the most important things that you can do is learn to spend quiet time alone. Okay, the 9 of Pentacles, she's a very self-satisfied woman because she has learned to trust in herself, to get whatever she needs from herself. And she doesn't need external resources or external people to help her feel better. She's able to feel better just based on herself, on who she is inside. She's happy with herself. She enjoys herself. So a lesson that you can learn here, and that it's important that you learn, is that even though public recognition is good and fun and fine, it's very important to engage in a private relationship with yourself and with others around you at the same time. All right? Don't get all your juice from social media, from the media, from your friends and family who tell you you're amazing. Get some of your juice from yourself, because eventually this is going to go away. You're not always going to have this public recognition for this thing that you've done, for this amazing announcement that's about to come out. However, you will always have yourself. So recommend that you start getting comfortable spending time with yourself and drawing energy from yourself that you need. Okay? That's a very important lesson for you to take here. Okay. What will you ultimately gain by embracing these changes? So this change is coming, and I think it's a good one. Like, you're not going to have to worry too much about it. There's some very positive things. I mean, anytime you're getting a windfall, you're getting some money, that's relatively positive. But it's about how you manage it, right? And how you deal with it. So what will you ultimately gain by embracing these challenges? The Star. Oh, that's beautiful. This is all about hope. This is about optimism. This is about positivity. The things are really looking up when you get the Star. Okay. So rest assured that by dealing with this in the best way possible, in the most grounded way possible, in the most focused way possible, you are absolutely, this is going to be such a positive experience in your life. Things will improve and they will continue to lead you to the next thing for you, right? This change that you're going through right now, this celebration is a big deal, and it is going to feel good, and it's going to last for a while, but it's not the last thing in your journey. Your journey continues even after this, right? So it's very important that you feel that you're on the right track at all times. And this experience, going through this big change, will help you know that you are on the right track. You've been trying to find like outside sources of validation that let you know you're doing the right thing for a while. They've been challenging to find. You found little pieces of them here and there, and that's good. Find them where you can get them. But the outcome of this experience will be that you absolutely know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, there's no question in your mind, that you are 100% on the right track. Okay, I want to just pull one card of guidance for you. I feel there's one small more message for you. Trust your vibes. All right, listen to your intuition. Listen to the messages that you get from inside you, because they absolutely bring you important information, right? We'll go back to this card. This was one of the internal resources that you can use to navigate this experience are your emotions. Okay, that's what this card is saying. Absolutely trust your vibes, trust your emotions. You know what you feel. When you feel something, it is true. Okay, so believe it. Believe what your emotions are telling you and trust that. All right? Okay, thank you. Like, this is such a good reading. I'm so happy for you. You're really going to have some beautiful, beautiful financial blessings, it looks like, as an outcome for this. So please take that away. I hope it speaks to you. And if you need any more guidance, reach out. All right. We are moving on to pile number 2. So this was the classic Rider-Waite tarot deck, classic imagery, and a piece of sweetgrass. So sweetgrass is one thing that I really love burning. It just, I don't know, it triggers this sort of like ancestral memory for me that I really like. So I don't know, if you've never burned sweetgrass and you can get your hands on some that was procured and produced in a way that's, you know, decent, then try it and see if you like it, because it's one of my favorites. Okay, so what big changes are happening for you, Rider-Waite Sweetgrass crew? Let's find out what's going on for you, okay? So first of all, let's just take a look at who this reading might be for before we get into the actual reading itself. Okay. Okay, and one more. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. All right, so first of all, Nine of Swords, these are my people who are experiencing anxiety. Like anxiety to the level where like it's keeping you up at night because it's so challenging. Okay, that's my Nine of Swords. So if you're feeling, if you're having a really, really challenging time, a very difficult time, you're feeling a lot of anxiety, potentially even depression, then this reading could very likely be for you. Okay, so we're overcoming some challenges and we want to know what blessings are on our way. Now, with the Four of Cups, this is really about somebody who's feeling kind of apathetic, but they're really contemplating, like, what are my next steps? I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. I have these options in front of me. I'm not sure what to do. I've been reflecting a lot on how I'm feeling, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to find some inspiration in my life that helps me figure out what to do next. Okay, so, you know, maybe it could be about a relationship. It could be about your work or career. It could just be about life, the world in general. But you also, you know, you might be feeling like pretty bored and apathetic too. So this reading could be for people who are feeling anxious or upset or depressed, like having trouble sleeping. People who are feeling bored and apathetic, like they don't know what their next step is. They can't figure it out. They're feeling very unsure. Could be with regards to all kinds of different things. That very much, this could be speaking to you as well. All right. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is all about change, right? This is about the big cycles and changes that happen in the world, the cosmic energetic cycles that we truly have absolutely no control over at all. So it's about adapting to change. It's about adapting to the cycles. It's about seeing, if you know that something always happens in a pattern, because things always do, events create wave patterns in the world. Sometimes the economy is high, then the economy goes low, then the economy is high again, then the economy goes low again. Sometimes you're feeling really good with your person, then you start to feel bad together, and then you heal things and you start to feel good, then something happens and you start to feel bad, right? These are the patterns. So when you can anticipate what the pattern's going to do, you're much better equipped to make decisions knowing that, oh, this pattern's been going up for a while. This might start going down pretty soon. I better make sure that I've put some things in place here, that I'm taking care of myself, right? So this is for my planners. This could be for my preppers. This could be for anyone who's very aware of the cycles that are going on in the world. These are people who are considering, what's the best time to do something? What's the best time for me to make this move, to start this business, to start this relationship, to meet this person, to start a new, YouTube channel, to, create this new thing, the best time to have a baby. When people who are considering what's the best time for me to do something, you could very well be represented in this deck as well, right? And then I've also got, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio up here. So if you are one of those 4 signs, sun, moon, or rising, I know that's about 12 placements there, but this card could also definitely be for you, okay? Or this reading could also be for you. So what we want to know is, what major changes are currently around you? What are the major changes that are taking place, that are just about to take place in your life? Okay, so we've got some conflict happening here, some conflict and disagreement, and we have like a major transformation. Okay, so you are this is the big change right here. You're going to go through this huge transformation, and you're going to come out on the other side of it, and you're not even going to recognize yourself. You're going to be a completely different person when you come out of this transformation, whatever it is about. But getting there and going into it, you are dealing with these significant internal conflicts. All right. This is a battle with yourself. This is not an external battle with anybody else. This is you dealing with yourself. This is you sitting and contemplating and going, holy shit, I got to deal with these things in my life. This is you feeling anxious and being kept up at night because you have not dealt with this thing in your life. You are being put into a situation right now that is going to absolutely force you to deal with it, to make these changes. And the outcome is that you are going to come out of this, the other side, a completely transformed person. All right. You will have a completely different perspective on things. Things will be new. So in order for you to go into this, something is going to end. Something in your life is going to end. That is the major change that is on its way to you. Okay. So that could be a business could be ending, or maybe you're selling it, or you've decided it's no longer tenable and you're not going to continue the business. A relationship could be ending. You've engaged in this relationship for long enough and you've realized that it is absolutely not giving you what you need and it's not going anywhere, and it is time to end it. Okay. It could be a place where you're living. You've been living in this place for a long time, and you keep trying to make it work. You keep trying to fix the house. You keep trying to fix the land. You keep trying to make this thing happen. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. You have to embrace the changes. You have to let it go. It's going to die, whatever it is. And the more tightly you try to grip it and hold on to it, the more it's going to hurt when it's ripped away from you. All right. We lose things for very important reasons, because they are no longer aligned with who we are and where we are heading as a soul. Sometimes you get to a point in life and your guides and your spirit and your internal self knows you're going in this direction, but your life's been heading off in this direction. And if you don't make some big changes, you're going to keep going in this direction. And so because those changes are challenging and you feel a lot of internal conflict and disagreement when you try to make them, you go, I'm just going to keep going this way. So then guess what? Life and your guides and your higher self go, oh no, Bish, you are not. And they rip it away. And you find yourself over here going, oh my God, what am I doing? I got to get over here now. Okay. So the more awareness with which you can go into this situation and know that this thing's being taken away from you for a very good reason, if you can hold on to that, it will be a lot less challenging. All right. Now, what opportunities and challenges might arise from these changes? Got a lot of fives. I got a lot of fives in the last deck too, and they just keep coming out. All right. So one opportunity that will arise from this change is your perspective. All right. So you can see in the Five of Cups here, this card is traditionally interpreted as being about loss and disappointment, because I got this guy standing here and he clearly looks like upset about these 3 cups that have spilled on the ground. But he's not even paying attention to these 2 cups that are still viable right here behind him. All right. And I just want to smack him every time and be like, stop it. Change your perspective. Look at what you have left. All right. So this change in perspective is going to be one huge potential opportunity for you, because you now have the opportunity to stop looking at whatever this thing that was taken away from you is and focus on what's left. Because what is left is going to be beautiful, and it is going to allow you to build a life that is full of joy, childlike wisdom, that is full of compassion, that is full of innocence. All right. So the energy of these 2 cards is vastly different, even though they're both cups. It's the 5 of Cups and the 6 of Cups, right? Because this is really about innocence and something innocent. So when you can get rid of something, what you're going to have left will be this beautiful, very innocent place that you can start from. You can start to rebuild whatever this thing is, business, relationship, life, health, whatever it is. You can start to rebuild that from a place of true authenticity with your actual nature. Okay? Because the thing that's being taken away from you, maybe it was authentic to you at some point. Maybe it is who you were at some point, but it is no longer aligned with who you are and where you're going. So by getting rid of it, by cutting it off and having this much left, you're now able to rebuild that thing. You're now able to rebuild your life, a new business or career, a relationship, from a place that is authentic. And when I say innocent, I don't mean like not guilty or blameless. I mean like authentic. Like think about how a little kid is. A little kid does not have pretense. What you say, what you see is what you get when it comes to little kids, right? They haven't put on this whole mask yet that prevents them from getting hurt, that prevents them from being vulnerable, that prevents them from allowing other people to come in and be near them and to touch them and to be close to them. They haven't built that yet. So this stripping away, this losing this thing, whatever it is also a stripping away of things that are inauthentic to you. It's a removal of anything that is not aligned with your true nature and your path forward in life. Okay, so that I think is the real opportunity that can come out of this for you. You can realign with who you are. You're losing something is being taken away from you that is no longer aligned with who you are. In fact, it is so misaligned that it's keeping you up at night and making you worry and feel bad and be unable to sleep. And it has created this thing within you that has no inspiration, that needs passion. You're missing it. All right? This is the place to rebuild it from, to rebuild your passion from, this place of authenticity, this place of innocence, this place of who you truly are at the core, before the world has put all of its shit on you to tell you who you are, before the world has put all of its baggage on you to tell you who you are and how you should act. Okay, this is such a blessing. This thing being taken away from you is such a blessing, because it is really, really, really going to allow you to figure out who you are and to be who you really are. Okay, now how can you navigate these changes successfully? What are your internal and external resources? Okay, so your internal resource, number one, is your intellect. Baby, you are smart. You are really able to very quickly and easily get a mental clarity on a situation. Okay, you're sharp. You're sharp as a tack. You're sharp as a sword. You're very easily able to get really clear information. You're also incredibly independent. So you are more than able to rely on yourself for everything that you need. You have whatever you need within you to remain resilient and go through this transformation. And look, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, sorry, has butterflies. She's got butterflies on her crown. She's got butterflies on her throne here, right? Now, those are a symbol. Obviously, butterflies are a symbol of transformation and rebirth. Just like we saw here on the death card. You have the power and the understanding to go through this experience in a way. You're going to go through it with a lot of awareness. Okay, you can go through this entire experience with awareness about what's happening for you, and you can make the best decisions based on that. All right, now some external resources that are available to you is a team. You have a team of collaborators around you who can help you with this. They will help you make decisions about whatever this transformation thing is. They will help you know the path forward. And when you work together to create a plan that works for all of you and builds on all of your strengths, then that plan is synergistic and that it's a better outcome than any of the three of you could have made on your own. Right? It's bigger than the sum of its pieces. It's better. So an external resource that is available to you now is that of collaboration and of working with other people. All right? There are people around you who are very skilled practitioners at what they do, and they can help you. Maybe that's a therapist. Maybe you need to go find a therapist who can help you with this. If that's, something that you're struggling with, just because you have the intellect and ability to handle it doesn't mean that you can't use some outside perspective sometimes. Right? A therapist can see things in ways that we never would have seen it ourselves because we're too close to it. So maybe this means a therapist. Maybe this means, a group of, maybe there's like a support group that you go to once a week, like like a ladies' breakfast or something, or a men's breakfast thing. My dad used to go to those when I was a kid. I remember he was always at like a men's breakfast once a month or something. And it was a group of men who would get together and they would talk about their challenges and they would support each other. Right? Like it's a beneficial thing when you have people that you can trust and you can share your challenges with them and they can give you a new perspective. Because sometimes when you're super, super smart and intellectual, you get stuck in your own perspective and you forget to take other people's perspectives and hear what they have to say about something as well. Because other people see things in a way that you don't. Right? Everyone has had their own unique experiences, so they bring their own unique perspective to whatever situation they're in. So there is an external resource to you among people around you who are skilled practitioners, who are better at something than you and can help you create the life for yourself that you want to. Okay? So get some outside help as well. Now, how will these changes impact your relationships? Okay, now these could be all kinds of relationships. Could be with a spouse, a partner, a significant other, with your children, with your friends, with your business partners. We have all kinds of relationships. So how could these changes impact your relationships? Oh my God, the fives. Well, the fives stop coming out of the decks. Okay. There's a potential here that you could win the battle but lose the war. All right. I feel it's actually the same people who were on the Three of Pentacles. All right. So this guy, this blonde guy who's building something has now defeated his two opponents. You can see these two swords on the ground, but he's all smug looking and they're walking away. And look, before they were working together as a team and now he's messed it all up. Do you see that? So there's the opportunity for you, for this to negatively impact your relationships. It doesn't have to, but it's very important that you sort of maintain an awareness of how these other people are trying to help you, of how the other people in your life are trying to help you. And it's very, honor that. Don't be like, well, I have to do this my way. I'm doing it my way. This is making me feel better. This is the way that I want to do it. It won't help you to be in conflict with these people right now, especially if you're experiencing enough conflict already. Part of this transition, part of this journey, part of this change that you're going through is around conflict, especially internal conflict. So don't project that internal conflict onto the people around you that you're in relationship with who may be trying to help you. All right, it's a warning. So keep that in mind. Now, is there some positive outcome? You're going to become a lot more intuitive. Okay, because of this transformation, you're going to become a lot more in touch with your own intuition and with your own self-knowledge and your own ability to understand yourself. That may create conflict with those around you, especially if those people around you are not as tapped into their own inner self. If they don't know, if they don't hear themselves as clearly as you hear yourself, it could actually exacerbate this conflict. So your relationship, I'm going to use this word, it's not quite the right word, but your relationship could suffer. And I say suffer because it is very likely that your relationship will end up not being what it was before. It will change in some way. It might actually go away. But a lot of it depends on the other people, right? Whether or not they're able to actually accept the changes that you're going through that put you so much closer in touch with your own intuition, with your own self, with your own authentic nature. All right. It is possible that you are in relationship with somebody who is not willing to accept your authentic nature. If that is the case, you will have to make a decision about what you're going to do with them, whether or not you're going to stay in a relationship with them or you're going to let it go. This transformation could very well be about this relationship. Maybe this relationship is the thing that's being taken away, that's being removed. Maybe this is the change. That instead of having this relationship with this other person, maybe you're now going to be having this relationship with yourself. You're going to be focusing on yourself, okay, and your own authentic nature. That's entirely possible. All right, but at the end of the day, the biggest impact is going to be on your relationship with yourself and your ability to hear your own voice and your ability to tap into your own intuition. That's going to be a huge and significant ongoing outcome. It may feel like this relationship change is the biggest change that happens in the moment, but in fact, if we zoom out and take a much broader view over time, we can see that the relationship change with yourself is the true outcome. It's the true gift of this transformation, because you will, at the end of this, you will be who you are. You will be much closer to being a match with your authentic vibration. You will be much closer to being vibrationally aligned with your true authentic nature and self. Okay? Now, what lessons can you learn from these changes? Six of Swords, King of Cups. Okay. So one of the biggest lessons here is that life is a journey, right? We go through all of these different experiences for a reason. And one of the biggest reasons that we go through these experiences is so that we can learn to master our own emotions. Because when we are the master of our own emotions, we become wise. We become emotionally stable. We can lead from a place of love and of true guidance and not being triggered, but in fact, being able to make decisions that consider everyone. Put yourself first. That's okay, because you have to, but you're able to consider everyone else around you with the decisions that you make at the same time. The King of Cups is an emotional master, right? They are able to understand their emotions so well that they can use them to inform their decisions, right? This journey for you, and the fact this is a sword card, but it's over water, so this is an emotional journey. This journey is about learning to really understand your emotions so well that you are able to use them as the messengers they are. Our emotions arise from our internal nature because they bring us messages, right? If you're feeling angry, that's a message for you. You need to go figure out why you're feeling angry so that you can deal with that situation. If you're feeling jealous, that's a message for you. Why are you triggered? Why do you want this thing that somebody else has, right? Anytime you have an emotion arise, that's a message. It's bringing you a message. You're feeling contentment. Well, the message there is that, you know what, you're aligned with yourself and you're feeling happy about what you're doing and you're doing a good job and you're on the right track. Every single emotion that we feel brings us information, Okay. So by going through this experience, by going through this challenging journey of transformation, you are learning all about your emotions for the point of mastering them. Many times in our life, we avoid difficult emotions. We could even call them negative. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. They're neutral. Emotions are emotions. But we avoid ones that make us feel challenged because we don't want to feel challenged, right? We want to feel content and happy, and we want things to be easy. So sometimes life will force us into situations that are very, very challenging so that we have the opportunity to experience the emotions, learn from them, and be able to put them into action in a way that makes us masters of ourselves. Your emotional body is a very important part of who you are as a human being. Yeah, you have a physical body, but you have an emotional body too, right? And some people who can see like chakras and auras can actually see your emotional body. They can see how you're feeling. It's a very important part of you. Don't try to tell me that your emotions don't impact the way you feel, the way you act in the world every day, right? If I come from a place of anger and resentment, my actions are going to be very different than if I come from a place of love and cooperation and wanting to give to others, right? Even if I take the exact same actions, my juju, my intention on those actions is it's gonna create something. It's gonna have an impact. So I need to be aware of and in control of my emotions so that I can use them for what they're for, rather than allowing my emotions to control me. Okay? That will be one of the biggest outcomes of this entire transformational experience for you if you engage with it on purpose, that you will learn how to master your emotions and truly use them as messengers, okay, from your internal knowing. Now, the final question is, what will you gain by embracing these changes? And we kind of answered that a little bit on the last one, but what else? What are you going to gain by embracing these changes? Well, for one thing, you're going to have a whole new adventure. Okay, remember, we go back to this very first card that we pulled, the Wheel of Fortune card, and I told you it was about the ebb and flow of cycles in the world, the energetic ebb and flow of cycles in life, right? So with the ending of something comes the beginning of something new. So you will absolutely have the opportunity to engage in a brand new experience once you've gone through this challenging piece. This thing that's being taken away from you is going to create space within you for this brand new experience and adventure that you're going to be able to have. All right? There's something brand new coming in for you. And it's all about exploration. It's all about understanding the opportunities. This could be a new career. It could be a new path of study. It could be a new relationship. It could be a new business. All kinds of things that could be represented by the Page of Pentacles, but it is something new. It is a new exploration. It is a new journey. It is someone who's now taking off on this journey and who's gonna explore and say, like, what's next? And I'm gonna tell you right now that because this is the Fool, I don't think you have any idea about what this looks like. You have no idea what this future looks like right now. In fact, look at the cards. There's a predominance of blue. Okay, we have all of this blue energy. We have, there's little pieces of yellow here and there that comes up, but there's this darker, bluer energy. And over here, I have 2 cards with yellow skies. This is a totally different world than you were existing in over here. All right, so once you come through this very challenging experience, it's going to be a whole new you, baby. It's going to be a whole new experience, a whole new adventure, a whole new chance to explore. All right, I just want to pull like one guidance card for you. Ear chakras. Wow, that's not what I expected. Okay, notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words. These messages are real answers to your prayers. Okay, so, oh, you know what? Actually, hold on one second. These crystals are Mortarite, I think is how you pronounce it. I'll put it in the comments. But these crystals are magic ear crystals, and you can actually put these in just on your ears, and they will help to make it easier for you to actually hear the messages that your angels or guides or whomever is sending them to you are sending to you. So I'll write their name in the description, but if you can get your hand on a couple pieces of those, like honestly, start listening to the sounds and music. Maybe meditate with those in your ears. You're going to get some interesting messages that come through. You're going to get some interesting insights that come through. So there's just a little extra bump for you today, a little something that you can do to perhaps start feeling better and getting those messages through. Okay, so a bit of a challenging message today. I understand that you are going through some transformations and it's feeling quite challenging, but I really want you to remember that the reason that you're going through these challenges is so that you can become a master of your own emotion, a master of your own feelings, and then you can use these skills that you're developing here in your new adventure, because you are going to have a new adventure and there's going to be something truly beautiful and exciting and happy that comes out as a result of this. Once this is gone, then you've created all of this space for these beautiful things to then come in. Thank you. Okay, we are moving on now to pile number 3. So pile number 3 was that lovely piece of tumbled pyrite, fool's gold, also known as, but I don't know, it's not for fools, it's for real people. And the deck that we are using here is the Witch's Tarot. So it's a newer deck, it's one of my favorites. I really like the imagery on it, it's a good one. Okay, so these big changes are on the way for you, pile 3ers. That's far too many cards at one time. Nobody can read that. Okay, so who are we reading for to start? Let's take a look. Okay, we've got Judgment, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. So Judgment's actually very interesting. The Judgment card is all about the point when your internal self is measured against your external self. Okay, so this could very well be someone who's kind of going through an experience right now where they are doing like a life review. Okay, they're saying like, what are the things that I've done in my life? What can I learn? What have I done well? What have I not done well? What's the knowledge that I can pass on to the next generation? So this could be someone who is, like going through a life review or going through some kind of a business review, or it might be someone who's like engaging in couples therapy, right? If you're evaluating a relationship. It could also have to do with forgiveness, right? So if someone has wronged you and you're working on forgiving them, or you recently have been forgiving someone, or if someone's forgiven you, this card can have a lot to do with it as well. Okay, now the Knight of Cups is like a real romantic. Okay, the Knight of Cups really is like somebody who might be an idealist. So it's entirely possible that they are thinking about where they want the world to go, what they want to happen in the world, right? Oh, it could also be someone who's recently entered into maybe sort of a newer relationship, but they're very romantic and they really enjoy being in a relationship with somebody, and they're having, they have a good time in a relationship. They like being with others, and they like being in that sort of idealistic space, right? They're not always grounded in reality, but they can be, right? Idealism doesn't necessarily mean that you're not realistic, but it can be difficult to have both of those things at the same time. Now, the 8 of Pentacles is all about someone who's dedicated. They're a master. They're like really focused on their work. They're dedicated to their work. They like to work hard. They want to develop their skills. It might actually be about working hard on a relationship. Okay. So I feel There's a lot of relationship energy in these cards, even though this is a pentacle and this is a judgment. They kind of all, the Knight of Cups pulls it together, right? So I'm getting the feeling this is someone who's working on their relationship. Could be the relationship with another person, could be the relationship with themselves, right? So this is for someone who is engaging like intentionally in some kind of working hard on something. It could be a relationship. It's likely a relationship with themselves or with another person, right? Maybe you're working really hard on personal growth and development. Maybe you've been like reading productivity books or something, right? So, you know, you're trying to get better. You're trying to master your work. You're trying to be diligent, but at the same time, you want to forgive yourself for any past mistakes that you've made. Okay, so that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from here. Can I get one more card for who this spread might be for? Message in a bottle. Clarification on that, please. Queen of Cups. Wow, those cards look a lot alike, don't they? She's like holding the message in the bottle almost. Reading is also for people who are looking for emotional clarity on an experience that they're going through right now. So the big change might be around relationships. Let's see. Let's find out what happens. But this is, you know, someone is really seeking sort of clarity around how they feel. They want to be emotionally intelligent with how they relate to another person. There's someone who's very compassionate, but there's more going on here than meets the eye. There's more on the surface, right? Like I very much get the feeling that the Queen of Cups just picked up this message in a bottle and is reading it, right? So this reading is for someone who's either been sending or receiving emotional messages. It could mean a few different things, but whatever that might mean to you, if you've been sending or receiving emotional messages, or if you've been learning to really master your emotions. Oh, you know what? Okay, so emotions are messages for us, right? Like our emotions bring us messages. That's the whole point of emotions. When you understand what you're feeling, then you go, oh, my psyche is sending me some information. I better figure out how I'm feeling and examine what's going on here so that I can deal with it, right? So the Queen of Cups she's like really good at understanding these messages already. She's a bit of a master at it, right? She knows how to take the information from her emotions and then channel it into something that allows her to put it into place. So if you're someone who's doing that, if you're someone who's working on your emotions, who's working on understanding your emotions better, working on, you know, like maybe you're keeping a feelings journal every day where you're writing down how you feel so that you can get in touch with your emotions, so that you can learn to channel your emotions appropriately and constructively, then this reading is definitely for you. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be about a relationship at all. It could be just, you know, someone who's working on emotions. Okay, so what major changes are currently around you? That's what we want to look at first. So let's see what we get. Knight of Wands. Six of Cups. And Temperance. Okay, this is interesting. So the Knight of Wands is all about action. And they want to go out and do stuff, right? They're all about, you know, pursuing goals, taking bold actions, having adventurous relationships, pursuing their passion, maybe being an entrepreneur. They're definitely all about pursuing their goals. Okay, so they're passionate. They're going out and they're making things happen. They're full of inspiration. Now, the Six of Cups is about nostalgia and innocence, right? So it's about either returning to who you were when you were a child in this sort of sense of nostalgia, but really it's almost more about innocence and maintaining alignment with yourself, right? And understanding who you are, like fundamentally as a person, and then acting from a place of alignment, right? So some of the changes that might be happening. Well, let's just think about Temperance for a minute before we actually move on to that. So Temperance is all about balance and harmony. So maybe it's about balancing these two things, right? So it's about moderation. It's about patience, compromise, harmonious business ventures. So the changes that you're going through right now have to do with moderating and balancing your inspiration and your passion with your authenticity. It feels like it could very potentially be like a career or a business thing. All right? Because you want to definitely balance the things that you do out in the world, the goals that you set, the achievements that you want to make with an alignment with who you are. So you see how her foot is in the water here? So she's using the information that she's getting from her emotions, this Temperance card, to balance her goal pursuit with her authenticity and sense of internal alignment. All right. So I'm definitely getting the feeling that these changes have to do with your career in some way. All right. Or the way that you achieve things in the world. And for most of us, that's a career. The outer things that we accomplish in the world, that's our career, whether you work for a business or a corporation, or you work, a single proprietorship, or you are a content creator, or, you walk dogs, or you run a Fortune 500 company, whatever you do, generally the things that we put out into the world most often have to do with our career, right? These are the tangible things that we create and that we make. That's how we make a living, by doing these things. So it's very important that we're able to both actually get things done, achieve things at the same time, that we maintain a sense of authenticity with ourselves. So the major changes that are around you have to do with the tension between those two things. Now, let me just get a clarification card if I can get some idea about what the actual change could be. And maybe I can't, because it will be different for everyone watching this. It doesn't have to necessarily be about career. 9 of Wands. So okay, you're feeling like you're at the end of your rope, right? You're bloodied and bruised and you've had enough, but there's one more battle coming up for you to face, and then you can put it down and you can really rest. All right. So I still it doesn't have, I am very much getting the energy and the feeling about career, but it doesn't have to necessarily be about career. But the changes that are happening here are about, there's one more struggle to go in terms of balancing your passion, your goals that you're setting for yourself, the work that you're doing, the achievements you're making, with your sense of internal alignment. So, and the reason that I keep coming back to career is because, often the work that we do in the world is maybe misaligned from who we are as a person, because that was what was available to us at the time. That would pay us money and we needed money. That's what we got a degree in at school. That's what seemed interesting when I was going out to get a job. It was literally the only job I could find. Whatever, right? A lot of times in life, our passions and pursuits and the goals that we set for ourselves aren't always aligned with who we are as a person. So the challenge that you're facing is really about aligning yourself, who you are as a person, with the things that you're doing in the actual world, with the goals that you're setting, with the things that you're achieving. All right, that's what this is about. Now, what opportunities and challenges might arise from these changes? My God, I've seen the 5 of Wands in every single spread. We are all feeling very conflicted. I've used 3 different decks too, so it's not like it's the same one coming out of every deck. That's really interesting. Okay, so the Ace of Cups is all about new beginnings. All right, so when you're able to successfully navigate this challenge, there will be some new beginning for you on the other side. Okay, that could be a new relationship. It could be some kind of emotional renewal. You have a better sense of your own authenticity. You have a better sense of who you are as a person. Some emotional, fresh start. Okay, but the cups are all about emotion, and this is about a fresh start. This is about a new beginning. This is about being able to start anew. So whatever this experience is, you're going to come through it, hopefully, in a place of alignment and be able to start this new experience. This very often is a new relationship. Okay, so this could be the start of a brand new relationship with someone else. And I also get the feeling that this is a very blessed relationship. So I don't know, I don't think people say twin flame anymore, but that kind of a cosmic, sort of karmic karmic's not the right word because that's not it, but just sort of, you know, like there's the potential for this relationship with this person that is, this person is here to help you learn and grow as a person. Now, that might sound like lovely, but it doesn't always come out lovely when someone triggers you so that you can grow and learn as a person. But I do get the sense that a very important new relationship will be an outcome, a potential outcome, positive opportunity from these changes, right? And that makes more sense. Like that makes sense because when you're aligned with who you are as a person, your energy is much more authentic and people are attracted to that, right? So if you are who you are, the right person will come along and find you and want to be part of your life. So this is a real potential opportunity, right? When you get into a better place of alignment with who you are as a person, you're better equipped for a relationship, whether that's with other people or with yourself or with, you know, your guides and your higher self. Whatever it is, that you're better equipped by being aligned with your true authenticity for any kind of relationship. Now, a potential challenge that could come about because of this is about conflict and disagreement. Okay, so this could be conflict and disagreement with other people, potentially people who, you know, maybe they want you to pursue your goals and get things done and don't care so much about you being aligned. And if you don't pursue your goals and get things done, well, then it's going to create a problem for them. So there may be some conflict and tension and disagreement around that. This could also be conflict and tension and disagreement with yourself, right? Like figuring out who you are. You've got one kind of more big challenge left, and maybe you don't want to do it because you've realized that this challenge, this goal, this thing that you're trying to achieve is not aligned with who you are as a person. And there's a lot of internal conflict around what am I supposed to do with that? Do I just quit my job because I don't want to do this thing because it doesn't feel right? I don't know. Maybe you do. That's a decision you have to make. Do I have conflict and disagreement with, you know, my partner because I no longer have the same goals that they have and I don't feel that I'm being authentic to myself when I'm trying to achieve their goals with them instead of my own goals? Well, that's likely to create some conflict and disagreement with your partner then, isn't it? Right? So a challenge here will be the conflict and disagreement that will be created whenever you're trying to rebalance these two things, especially when you say the way that I've been balancing them is no longer working for me and I got to readjust. I got to do this differently. There is really the potential for people around you and yourself to feel conflict around that. Okay, so and I don't think you're going to change it because you can't change other people's responses and reactions to you. All you can change is the way that you respond and react to things. So if you're able to respond and to react from a place of authenticity, personal alignment, love, truth, compassion, then, you know, how they respond to that is up to them. And all you can do is do you. All you can do is keep your vibe high and trust that everyone's having the experience they chose to have when they came into this planet, including you. All right? You are having the experience that you chose to have when you came into this planet. Don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let anybody make you a victim. You chose this path. All right? So what are you going to learn from it? Okay. How can you navigate these changes successfully? You know what? I want to light this last incense cone. How can you navigate these challenges successfully? Okay, so this rebalancing, how are you going to be successful and do that? How can you successfully rebalance this? Four of Wands. Interesting. So Four of Wands is all about harmony, okay? It's about harmonious relationships. It's about finding shared success, finding harmony with your partner or your spouse. Could be about a wedding. Sometimes it's about a wedding or a celebration. But it seems like in general, the best way to navigate these changes is to try to work with the party who is setting these goals for you. All right. If it's your partner, then you're going to work with your partner to talk about how their goals and the goals you've been trying to achieve together are not aligned with who you are as a person. If it's a business partner or a boss or a subordinate, you're going to talk about how the business goals that you've been trying to achieve, or the work that you've been doing, is not aligned with who you are as a person. You're going to try to come to some sort of harmony or some sort of shared success around it. Now, let's pull another card. Okay, so now I pulled the King of Pentacles and the Star. So the real internal resource for you here is your sense of hope. Your sense of hope and knowing that things will turn out better. You have a good sense of knowing already what's going on here and what's happening and what needs to shift in order for you to actually be able to start to use your emotions in a positive way. Okay, now look here, I've got the Star. She's full of hope. She's got her foot in the water here, just like Temperance did. She's got her foot in the water here, and she's pouring water out on the ground because she is very effectively connecting her physical work on the earthly plane with her emotions. She's a master at this. Okay, so you're encouraged to continue to build up this skill for yourself. Build up the skill that allows you to take your emotions, understand what they are, channel that energy, and help that energy go where it needs to go. Okay, your emotions bring you messages. Remember, they tell you where your energy needs to go. So one huge resource for you is that you've been already working on this. You've been already learning this skill. So put it into action. Now's like the time of your practical exam. Let's go. Do it. Okay? Another important resource for you here is the King of Pentacles. So this is, it can be another person or it can be an aspect of you, but I'm definitely getting the sense that it's sort of a mentor in this situation. So it could be, it could be a mentor, it could be a boss, it could be someone who works at your business, your place of business, someone whose opinion you respect, someone who understands career, business, getting stuff done, entrepreneurship, whatever it is that your specific challenge is around. It could be a financial planner, right? If your change is, about talking to your spouse about how we save for the future. It's really important to me. I've realized that my authentic self wants to make sure we have a bit of a safety net. So I need to talk to my spouse who likes to spend money, who doesn't have those same goals. I need to, we need to come up with a plan. This could be a financial planner in that situation, someone who helps you figure out what to do, right? So someone who's very grounded and earthly and wise and is able to give you very solid information because they've already mastered it. It could be a counselor of some kind, right? A teacher, someone who really understands the situation that you're going through, understands the factors at play, and can give you some good guidance about what to do. Okay, so you have a person who will be able to help you if you can identify them and who they are. There is a person who can help you. They are a master at their domain. They know what they're doing. They could be a Taurus or have a Taurus energy in their field, sun, moon, or rising. That's possible. But it doesn't have to be that way either. It could also be, okay, I'll just say it. It could be someone who is into wine. They maybe work at a winery. They own a winery. They really enjoy drinking wine. It's an important part of their life. That we've got Taurus vibes up here too. So this is someone who enjoys material luxuries. They're built for comfort, not for speed. They like going out to dinner and having a fancy dinner and spending 3 hours and ordering everything off the menu with their friends, right? That's, they're comfortable. They've achieved their success already materially. So they're comfortable sharing with others about how they can do that as well. All right. That's your King of Pentacles. So those are your internal and external resources that can help you navigate these changes successfully. All right. Now, how will these changes impact your relationships? And obviously you've got lots of different relationships, but we'll just pull some cards and see what relationships pop to the forefront here for us. Page of Wands. 10 of Wands. That's really interesting because these cards, even though they're right after each other in the deck, after the tens come the pages, but they're almost like opposite energies. Okay, so the Ten of Wands is all about burden. It's about responsibility, feeling overwhelmed, challenges. If it's about a relationship, you could have a really, like, you've got shared responsibilities in your relationship. It could be, you know, if it's a business, like you're really having a very difficult time getting through something. It's you like almost feel like the end of your rope kind of energy. Like I'm just going to put my head down and I'm just going to get through it. Whereas the Page of Wands is all about exploration and enthusiasm. The page is going on new adventures. They're exploring. They're feeling creative. They're starting new stuff up. Okay, so this is the ending of something, and this is the beginning of something else. So with regards to relationships, this experience, going through this experience, could potentially end one relationship and start a new one. Okay. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like with your partner or with your spouse or whatever that is. It could also be like with a business partner, right? So this might be the end of a business relationship. This might be you quitting a job and starting a new one. This might be you winding down some business with your business partners and starting a new one on your own. This might be you ending a relationship and starting a new one. This could be working through your own personal responsibilities so that you can engage in a new path together as a couple or as an independent person or whatever it might be. Okay, but this is very much one thing is going to end so that the new thing can begin. That's very clear what will happen with a relationship that is relevant to this change that you're going through. Now, what lessons can you learn from these changes? Okay, the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. So we have the King of Pentacles over here as someone that you should consult, but now we have the Queen of Pentacles as what you can become as a result of these changes. So the Queen of Pentacles she's like the baby empress of the deck. Okay, so she's all about nurturing. She's about practicality. It's about being able to run your own business. Oftentimes that's a home-based business. Okay, Queen of Pentacles enjoys staying at home. She likes doing things from her home. She runs her home, the Queen of Pentacles, all right? She knows, her house usually looks beautiful. She has, a gardener or a housekeeper, some people who come in to help her take care of stuff, or she does it all on her own. That's possible too. She's very fertile, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean like with regards to children, but she creates things frequently that go out into the world and do well. Her business ventures are very successful because she has a very good sense both of managing her own finances, but of knowing what will be successful out in the world. So one outcome of this could be potentially starting your own business, your own entrepreneurial venture that could, be very successful. You could also you really create this beautiful home environment where people feel nurtured and safe and they want to come spend time with you. That's another potential outcome from this. A third potential outcome could be that you really begin to understand your own finances. You begin to understand your own ability to achieve your goals. You begin to understand your own ability to actually not be a victim when it comes to specific relationships or emotions or money or whatever it is. This is about stepping into your own power and truly becoming who you are and allowing yourself to live from this place of authenticity that creates new opportunities for you. When you allow this change to happen, when you allow this thing to go away, you create the space for something new that can truly fill your cup, that can bring inspiration, that can make you feel like you're alive, that can help to set the stage for stable, foundational business growth in the future. Okay? Now, what lessons, that's the one we just did. So what will you ultimately gain by embracing these challenges? Like, what is going to be the ultimate outcome of this? Like, this could be a very difficult experience to go through. It doesn't have to be, especially if you are aware of what is happening, right? But what will you ultimately gain by embracing these challenges? So what you're going to ultimately gain, actually, is the ability to collaborate with others to ensure that everyone who is within your energetic sphere feels welcomed and nurtured. Okay, the Five of Pentacles is a card of feeling left out in the cold. Like, they're literally left out in the cold. And behind this stained glass window is a beautiful church, warm church full of people who are experiencing blessings together. Okay, the Three of Pentacles is all about the work that you do in an inspired partnership through collaboration, that each of the people in the partnership is bringing something that only they have to bring, and it creates this beautiful outcome as a result. Okay, so when you actually embrace these changes, when you go through them, when you embody them, you then actually become the queens, because you are creating energetically, you're creating this nurturing space that allows everyone around you to feel accepted, to feel whole, to feel nurtured. You're creating a home, essentially. Okay, so the feeling of home has been lacking for you for some reason, right? And it potentially could be because you and your partner have misaligned goals, misaligned ideas about where you're trying to get to, misaligned ideas about what a home really is, about what nostalgia really is, right? Maybe you've been reflecting a lot. This could also be about nostalgia, this card. So maybe you've been reflecting a lot on how things were when you were a kid. And maybe you're missing components of that you want to bring back into your life. Or maybe you've identified things that happened as a kid that are happening now. You're seeing these same patterns in repeat, and you want to change those patterns because you want to create a home environment in which everyone feels safe, in which everyone feels that they can truly express who they are, in which everyone can be authentic, and everyone feels that they are contributing to something that is greater than them. All right, that is the ultimate outcome that you can gain by embracing these changes. You can become home for people. You can create home for people, whether that's your friends, whether that's your spouse, your partner, whether that's your children, whether that's the people that you come into contact with on a day-by-day basis. Energetically, you can create home for people and make them feel comfortable, nurtured, safe, and give them space to be vulnerable and to learn who they truly are in an authentic way. That is a beautiful gift that you could give to anyone. Okay, I want to pull just one card of guidance for you. Clear your vibes. All right, clear your energy field. So there are a lot of different ways to clear your energy field. I am immediately drawn to all of the water in here. So go take a bath or take a shower with the intention of clearing off anyone else's energy, right? Water automatically does that for you, clears other people's energy from your own energy field, clears anything that's not yours. But when you're intentional about that, when you choose to do that on purpose, then it makes it even that much more powerful. All right. So get into a bath, get into a shower, and literally run your hands through your energy field, shake them off, and rinse them with water. Okay. Get rid of everyone else's energy, clear your vibes, get clear. All right. Be in tune and in touch with your own emotions. Get clear on what you're feeling and on what the messages those feelings are bringing to you. Okay.